Antifa, look at them. Antifa is out of control, it seems, or maybe they're very well controlled, tightly controlled, and they have an agenda. No one has covered Antifa like our next guest. He knows so much about them. Andy Ngo, he is the editor-at-large of the Post-Millennial. He is an author. His book, Inside Antifa's Radical Plan to Destroy Democracy. Again, Andy Ngo has covered it. He's gone inside, it seems, at times, and he's provided the world with incredible footage at great risk to himself. Andy, welcome back. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. I want to start in the We Spa in Los Angeles. This is a spa where people go for massages and pedicures. So a woman was traumatized when a man essentially walked into the women's locker room. He identified as, I guess, a transgender. This is what happened. She made a video.
I'm up here at the We Spa, and a man, okay, comes in slinging his penis. I almost want to fall out. I couldn't believe what I saw. I couldn't believe that this man, okay, and these people up here, and you got some women scared to say something. Baby, I'm not scared to say a thing. The blood of Jesus.
Andy, that's a brave woman, but that is also a natural reaction. Antifa has a very different and had a very different reaction to what happened in that We Spa. Can you tell us, please?
Yeah, so that video, or one of the other videos from that woman last week had gone viral, where she was complaining to the staff of the We Spa in Los Angeles about this alleged incident where a person exposed their penis to women and girls. And in response to that, some grassroots women's rights groups and conservative activists organized a protest outside the We Spa for last Saturday. And to no one's surprise, the SoCal Antifa, the Youth Liberation Front, which is another Antifa cell, organized what they said was a counter demonstration. But of course, whenever there's involvement of Antifa, there's an expectation of violence, and that's exactly what happened. So the small number of protesters outside the We Spa were outnumbered by Antifa and their allies, and the people that were assaulted included journalists, women, older women, people trying to mind their own business, people of color. So the violence was quite indiscriminate, and the LAPD ended up declaring an unlawful demonstration as the violent protest became essentially a riot by Antifa in the middle of Wilshire Boulevard.
Well, some amazing footage was provided. And let's just reiterate, though, the protest, the original protest would say women in the women's locker room, men in the men's locker room. I mean, this is not particularly, wouldn't have been controversial, say, 3 months ago or 2 minutes ago, but suddenly that's a controversial opinion to have in Southern California. You mentioned an older woman who was targeted and harassed. I think she's wearing a purple shirt here. Again, she feels that women should be in the women's room and men should be in the men's room. And look at how she's treated. And Andy, you mentioned the police showing up. Let's watch the skirmish between the cops and Antifa now. A standoff. And also you mentioned the media. A photographer was chased off by Antifa. Let's take a look at that, please.
What am I doing? Get the I just told you, keep walking. Keep walking.
I'm not sure what's up with the umbrellas. They want to shield it from other observers. What is up with the umbrellas, Andy?
Yeah, it's one of their most common street tactics. So it doubles, one, as a weapon, where you jab it in somebody's face or eye. Two, they also use it so that they can block cameras and prevent security cameras or journalists from recording when their comrades are engaging in violence. So there were more than 5 people that were assaulted that day, and the violence went on for hours in the morning. As far as I know, law enforcement made no arrests of any of the violent Antifa. They did detain some of the people who tried to fight back on the right. I don't think they were actually arrested, though. But it comes to show you that like in Portland, in Seattle, and other places where the left-wing politics dominates an urban area, law enforcement are not your allies for people who are practicing their First Amendment rights.
Law enforcement, not our allies. Now, we did see law enforcement there. They did come out. Tell me, characterize what they were doing, because I thought they were trying to help.
There were some instances where police detained people who are actually victims of violence by Antifa. It's from my understanding, from my sources, that they do that because when it's a mob of Antifa versus, let's say, one victim, it's much easier and less resource intensive for them to detain or arrest the one person, even if they're actually the victim, rather than to take on the entire mob. But I think the message that tells Antifa and to other violent extremists on the street is that we just mobilize in large numbers and we can go after people with impunity. Police won't arrest us. And in fact, police, if they do intervene, they will take away the victim rather than addressing those who are the violent aggressors.
Finally, when the FBI director a few months ago said Antifa is an idea, he didn't seem to think it was a real organization. Do you know Antifa like few do in America? I only have a few seconds left. What was your reaction? What did you think when he said that?
Well, if it's not abundantly clear that Antifa organized violence based on their own Twitter posts from SoCal Antifa, you can look in the video footage that they brought their own literal banner so that their comrades knew where to meet up, and they were using it as a shield in some places to block the cameras when their comrades are carrying out violence. So just look at what they say and what they do.
Andy Ngo, we appreciate it. Take a look at the book. I look forward to reading it. It is Unmasked: Inside Antifa's Radical Plan to Destroy Democracy. Thank you, sir. Be safe out there. We purposely don't reveal your location because Antifa would like to know where you are. Thank you very much.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.